Oh boy, it's the Thursday show! Yay!
Yeah, it's a Thursday.
With that, we're back. Hello, Mrs. Ryan.
Hello, hello.
Turn him on. There we go. Now we're really back. It's all official in junk. Hi, everybody.
Yippee.
Yippee Skippy. Who said that? Miss Piggy. Yippee Skippy and the Muppet Babies.
That was her?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Hi, everybody. There we go. Welcome back. Tonight is Thursday, September 12th, 2019. My name is Jay Ryan. This is Nicole Ryan. We are the Ryans. Welcome back to the old late night play set. We've got a fun one for you tonight, I think. Loreena Esposito is our guest. You may know her from the Women in Porsche Instagram handle. You may know her from the Esposito Porsche Restoration Shop, her and her dad. And she's, one of the Porsche people here in Los Angeles.
Yeah.
We're actually meeting her for the first time today. But just after a few minutes, she seems quite lovely. So we'll have her in here in just a few minutes to talk all things Porsche for the day. And that'll be kind of fun, too, because yesterday was sort of a fake one because he didn't have the Porsche anymore, but he did love Porsche, but it was really more about us getting to know each other.
Love from afar.
Bronston Jones was here yesterday. If you haven't seen that episode, please go back and watch it. It is so much fun for me, Jay Ryan. I made a new friend. It's that simple. It was just another weirdo. Two weirdos getting along. Hope he doesn't mind that. I think he would relate as well.
I think he would dig it.
Mm-hmm. Mrs. Ryan, there's something. We played the weekend video finally yesterday. And there's something that would have been obvious if you were watching it, and we just keep neglecting to mention. Somebody else who's huge in the car industry, and we only recently met this weekend, is the smoking tire, Matt Farrah.
Yeah.
Quick story. We were headed up to Breakfast Club 1 week ago tomorrow. I think the math's on that, right? 1 week ago tomorrow. Yep. Anyway, we were heading up, and we got to a 9 Mile, which, for those who know, it's part of the detour. And there was a brand new white something or other Porsche 911 something on the side, and I said, "Oh my goodness, leave no man behind." So we slowed down and checked it out and saw it was Matt Farah who was messing with a camera or something else. We said, "Oh, he's totally fine." So we took off and just kept on going towards Newcomb's for Breakfast Club. I don't know, a couple miles down the road, all of a sudden that same white old car popped up in the rearview mirror, and then it became. I think we were on pretty good charge already at that point.
I was going to say, we weren't cruising. We were going super fast.
No, we weren't cruising at that point, yeah. I feel like we had cruised up until that point.
Yeah,
and then for whatever reason, the car became Herbie, as it does sometimes. And doo-doo, 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 doo-doo.
Totally.
And just woo. But anyway, so he pops up, and then I think, well, he's got a nice brand new car, and it's a guy who certainly knows how to drive. And there's no one anywhere else around. And we're luckily in the part, which there's there's an area where there's like literally nobody else around, and it's a dead end at both sides. So it's almost like a closed road. It's not a closed road, but
right.
I don't know what I'm trying to say. It's not like there's not you're not going to run into the Palmdale 500 on this road. You're not going to run into other cars and oncoming and all that stuff. It's at this time. Anyway, it sounds like justification. Anyway, we got it up to about 55. And sure enough, at the top of the at 9 Mile there, I pulled over to the right. And by the way, going up 9 Mile in our little old car, I think because of the type of car and how it's set up for those roads, we were pulling away. Now, the car and Matt Farah, I'm sure, can keep up and overtake us, no problem. But it felt really good to be going up that hill, in an old Herbie kind of car, and I'm tapping the wheel, going, "Yeah, go, baby, go! Come on, you got it."
It was adorable.
And then we got up to the top, and we pulled over to the right because I thought Matt would just keep on going, but he rolled the window down and he was like, "Hey, are you a racing instructor? Or you were bombing back there? Or you were mobbing back there? Mobbing? You're mobbing." Anyway, it was fun, and it was funny for that to be our first interaction. And then so he let us go ahead again because he wanted to follow. He said it was no problem. And he peeled off, took some pictures. We went to Newcomb's. I think he gave somebody else a ride. But from that moment forward, we ran into him all weekend.
Yeah.
It was weird. It was like we've never affiliated. Yeah, we've never known each other or anything. And then all of a sudden it's like, oh, you're at this. Oh, you're at this. Oh, we know that guy. Oh, this. And so PEC morning shift, he was there, and they parked us right next to him. That was nice. So we ended up finally chatting a bit that day. And the long and short of it is he's going to be on the show. So we don't know when we got to schedule it and everything, but he said yes, and he's going to be here soon. So we're very excited to have Smoking Tire here soon.
That'll be super fun.
Yeah.
And if you like his Instagram, he just got 2 new kittens.
Oh, I saw that. Yeah, and he's up to 5 litter boxes because it's cats plus 1. Yeah.
Well,
so I guess they have 4 cats.
I get maybe so.
Yeah, they
These
live in
new
our old
ones are
neighborhood.
super cute. They do?
Yeah. Well,
Oh.
not directly, but
I'll
Venice.
be stoked to talk to him about that.
It's going to be fun. All right, Mrs. Ryan, I've got very little to do today, just some TBTs, because luckily we stayed on track all week and got everything out of the way.
Yay.
So it's not too heavy today. We'll get Loreena in here in a few minutes. But TBT, let's see, pop that up first. This was your picture from last week. It made it into the video, and I just want to throw it up because it was adorable. Adorable. Look at Mrs. Ryan, and you would have been what there, like 1, 2?
1 or 2, yeah.
Is that a what did they used to call it?
That's at my grandparents' house, and they put toys in there. And
okay.
I
It's just
used to dump all the toys out and sit in it.
Man, that is just adorable. It really is. I hope everyone else gets it. And all right, so now I've got 2 real videos. One's an actual TBT, and then this one I'm throwing up there. I couldn't believe it was like a Facebook memory popped up, and it was like 18 months ago, and I can't believe the progress.
Yeah.
This is oh shit, on the wrong camera here. Hi everybody. This is in this very same room that we're sitting in now, 18 months ago, doing this very show. Just very early on. It was the first month. It was the first couple of weeks actually. Roll it out the window. It's the truth. It's the truth. What are you gonna do? No biggie. Oh, we could always do this. Ready?
Oh,
hello.
Oh, meow, meow.
Hello. Hi, meow, meow.
Prettiest animal ever.
It's funny, I said the David Letterman influence the other day, but I really should give proper credit because I do believe this would be Merrill Markoe influence here, and I just want to be fair there because our dream would be that Merrill eventually someday hears about this show even existing and would come on as a guest. That would be my dream.
We're friends on Facebook. I think I'm going to go bold and tag her on this one.
Okay.
Because her name comes up a lot.
Because how could you not?
There's so much influence.
Oh, God.
She's so pretty.
Arr.
Arr.
She's doing her best pirate impression now. Most people didn't know that we had a cat that did impressions. Oh, remember how loud that used to be? I didn't used to know how to edit the audio. Oh, meow, meow. Thanks, Meryl. That's cute. That's cute.
That's adorable.
Yeah.
Her little pirate eye.
Our own little so cute. I love that cat. That cat is 18 years old, sleeping in the other room. I was going to put a camera on there today, and I didn't have the heart because she was sleeping. And so she's at the phase where she's sleeping a lot, and probably at least an hour for every year she is old.
Yeah. Every time I go in there. But she always wakes up to say hi to me.
Yeah.
It's adorable.
Yeah, I love you, Mammo. Anyway, okay, here's a show TBT, and I believe I'm going to space out and go into standby mode. I can't. Whatever. Let's watch it and then see. I think I chose this because there's some stuff going on this weekend, and it's almost like a blah blah blah.
Okay.
Right. I think Pelican. So anyway, roll it out.
Everything I need is here and now. Look at how the colors dance around. I could give it all away for free, and it wouldn't even matter. 'Cause all I need is give it all away for free, and it wouldn't even matter, 'cause all I need is come and let it rescue me, 'cause all I need is
Aw, cute.
That's a cute video.
Mrs. Ryan. Well, you're cute. You're in half of it. I think that's why it's cute. Or if there's any love put into it, it was probably because of our coupledom.
I know. I love you so much, but I love that song too.
Yeah. You know why I think it's tugs a heartstring for you? I used it also on the Rod Emery one when we were over at the Rod Emery shop,
Wow.
and that was one of your favorite days because of the Emery family, of course, and the love that they share with the world.
I got it.
So that may be part of it. Is that what the familiarity was?
No, it's you, but
Oh, okay.
I'll take that one. Hi guys.
Well, I'll take that one, Mrs. Ryan, because it's time to ask the question that's on everyone's mind. What is going on, Mrs. Ryan? Dun-dun-dun-dun-dun-dun-dun-dun-dun-dun-dun.
Oh, that hurts.
Oh, you're bruising.
I'm so it's all going inside now, so it's just like when that and
Yeah.
gross, whatever.
So sorry.
Whatever, I like it. It's worth it for laughing. There's a freshman in Tennessee who got bullied like crazy his first couple weeks of school. So that's not the fun part of the story. The great part of the story, though, is that two football players noticed because he was wearing the same clothes, and that's right because he was growing a lot, and his mom was like, "Yo, man, you have a shirt, wear it." And the football
Sounds like it was probably a monetary thing, and he was getting made fun of for maybe not having a lot of money, which
probably
happens a lot.
totally, but yes, I'm sure that was it. But like, I'm super positive, so I'm not bringing negativity into it. But two football players
We need to recognize it to overcome it, is my logic.
Yes. And because he didn't have the money to buy a plethora of new clothes because he was growing so much, two football players noticed that he was being bullied for wearing the same clothes. And we're like, we've got a lot of extra stuff that we don't need. And they went home in their closets and pulled out shirts and shoes and pants and stuff and was like, here you go.
It's wonderful and awesome. I wonder how it helps the situation. You know what I mean? Like, obviously he's clothed and that's wonderful, but the actual bullying situation.
There's video of him being like, these are my friends. Like, they all look out for him now. It's
Awesome.
like.
Okay, so it got a little community going. It's not just a
It
charity
changed the
type
face of
thing.
it. It's not a charity thing.
Beautiful.
It's like, we're all here. Getting
right.
through the day.
That's
Here's
right.
how to help someone.
Mr. Rogers used to say, look for the helpers. And it sounds like today those helpers were maybe not who you would have expected, and I love who they were.
That stuff's coming out a little more. So
Fantastic.
I will thank you and Mr. Rogers for that. Similarly, there's a Connecticut obituary that's gone viral.
Oh, no, somebody I know?
Maybe. Joe Heller.
Oh,
Do you know?
say it isn't so, Joe.
He was 82. I have decided that you people from Connecticut.
You people.
He's tonight. There is a service for him he volunteered at the Essex Fire Department.
So he's from Essex?
He's from
Old Saybrook, that area there?
New Canaan, but he moved to Essex, and I know.
This is me.
I
From
know.
New Canaan. My dad wanted to retire in Old Saybrook. He didn't get the chance. He passed away, but that was the whole plan. Because Art Carney did, by the way. That was the reason.
That's why.
Yeah. Well, Jackie Gleason was already dead, and my dad loved Jackie Gleason like I loved Letterman, you know?
Right. Well,
Plus, it was Essex and the old steam train and the riverboat, and it's beautiful, bucolic New England. Right on the Connecticut River. It's beautiful.
that sentimentality and sentiment seems to be amongst everyone that lives there and loves it and grows up there and spends time there. Because this guy was like apparently a big prankster, and that's why this obit went viral. His daughter wrote everything about him. Like he named a dog Fart just to make his mom yell Fart.
Yeah.
to get
Here,
the dog.
Fart. Come here, Fart.
So
Damn it, Fart.
all you Connecticut people are hilarious to me. He just all the prankster stuff that she wrote about just.
Matt Farah, again, to tie in, he's also Connecticut. He's from the same area, a couple towns from me.
That's right. You guys, yeah, the Connecticut community is interesting. So read that out, but it's hilarious. Joe Heller.
We were talking a lot this weekend you were talking with somebody else about a movie. There's so many movies shot in our area, but Stepford Wives, is that what it was? Mm-hmm. Yeah. It's funny.
Yeah.
Literally, Stepford is where I grew up. Literally.
It's
And Good Wives Shopping Center, where they shot that movie, where by the way, that's not a joke. That's what it's called still to this day. From when
That's
I was a
real.
kid to today. Good Wives Shopping Center. It's in
Heads up,
Darien,
guys.
Connecticut. This is very real. But anyway, that was where they were shopping in the movie. Where all the robot women were shopping, and beyond that, for our car community, that's where when I was a kid, I actually went to with my dad. But when it's where the Cannonball Run used to leave when it was in Connecticut, when they would go from Connecticut to probably I think the Santa Monica Pier or something.
They went all the way across the country.
That was the point. Yeah, it was the fastest.
Well, do some research on Connecticut, guys,
Yeah.
because it is
Interesting folk.
Interesting spot for sure. Similarly,
Joe Rogan
interesting.
hates it, right? He calls it. It's just a.
It's a pass through,
yeah,
like
right.
a thoroughfare,
That's
and
right.
he's like never goes there.
Yeah.
John Mulaney is doing a new special.
Oh, good. I loved his last one. That Radio City Kid Genius from Radio
Kid
City or whatever.
Genius.
Man, that was a good one.
He
made it sound like he probably definitely killed that girl. I mean, my God, he's so funny. His delivery and the material.
He is so funny, and so he's on the cover of the Esquire that's out now, the October issue. So definitely check that out. But this article talked a lot about what he wants to put into his new comedy special, and his whole thing is he's watching old Sesame Street 3-2-1 Contact. Like he wants to incorporate the
Electric
stuff
Company, yeah.
he grew up watching after school, like we do talk about all the time. And
Is it 3-2-1 Contact? It's the answer. It's the reason. It's what everything. Yeah, you remember that?
I
You
know.
remember the theme of 3-2-1 Contact? You don't remember all that?
no, but I
This
knew
is
you
how
would.
my education came from the television. It's that simple. I am Goodwill Hunting, but through the TV instead of the library.
It sounds like he did too, and that's what I maybe that's why I love about him. But like he's an observational comedian typically, and Letterman loved him, and Jerry Seinfeld loves him, and Pete Davidson loves him.
Yeah,
They're all in this article.
He's quite good.
Yes, but they love him. The whole point of this thing was that he spans generations, and like
Oh,
it
I agree
doesn't
with
matter like what age you are,
Yes.
because he's a timeless kind of guy.
He's
very
doing the
similar to you.
old-timey carnival barker. Like, that was the thing. When he's pacing up and down Radio City, he looked like, step right up, step right up, step right up. Have I got a joke for you? You know, I mean, it was that kind of thing.
Yeah, and he dresses like that on purpose, because when he was
He's got
coming
good
up,
posture, and he's very enunciates very well. He's very proper.
very proper. But when he was coming up, a lot of people were wearing flannels, and he was like, "That's not my jam." So
When he was at SNL wearing suits.
and he went old timey and was like, "I'm just gonna wear suits when I go out because I'm here and proper."
I love it.
But the funniest thing about this new upcoming special that they talked about was he's integrating kids, like 8 to 12 years old, and one of the bits is he has a kid do a fake book report on the Joan Didion Year of Magical Thinking, where the kid thinks, he's like, it's not a magic trick. You'll be surprised. It's about like this great author losing her husband. So
God, I guess you have to know the book or the story.
Because
Then I see the irony, of course.
Okay, well, yes, maybe
Having kids do this tragic story, it sounds like it's more ironic, funny than kids say the darndest things.
I can't wait to see what he does, because he's
I
awesome.
like him too.
So kudos. And then lastly, there's a dog. Whenever we go on vacation, like we see cats in Hawaii and stuff. Like there's always a lot of wild animals around when people go on vacation, and so that's normal. But this girl Lucy is from the UK and went to Turkey, and this dog followed her everywhere, like everywhere. So she's adopting it. She did some research and figured out how to adopt it.
I love it. I don't know that story, but it sounds nice. I will say I love the Dodo site. They're on Instagram and Facebook and whatever, and it's just nothing but wonderful people and animal stories. And there's the one where the guy is, kayaking in a iguana or some sort of a land lizard is out at sea like 4 miles out, like paddling and struggling, and he gets him on the boat, and then he's got a buddy. Now he's got a buddy on his kayak for the rest of the day or whatever.
That's so cute.
And then there's a guy riding his motorcycle somewhere, and he heard a kitten meowing somewhere. I don't remember how it happened. He stopped for a sandwich or something, but he heard a kitten meowing in the brush. Saved a kitten's life. Then it became a kitten, and it traveled everywhere with him. And then another guy, like your brother, actually has the dog ride on the back of the motorcycle with him.
Cool.
For anybody who doesn't know, Mrs. Ryan's brother works at The Daily Show in New York, and he brings his dog to work every day, as everyone at The Daily Show does. And they have for years. This is back in the Jon Stewart days.
Yeah.
And still to this day. And Justin, her brother, rides a motorcycle, and he actually built a box or a little seat for Quali.
Oh, yeah. He loves that dog. He built a whole thing.
But the dog was more famous than almost everybody but Jon Stewart on the show, because all the from Howard Stern to Brian Williams, all the people would come in and go.
Every
Where's
guest
Quali?
they had
Where's
on would
Quali?
be like, "Where's the dog?"
Yeah.
Like they did not care about any human that was there.
So
It was
funny.
like, "Where's the dog?"
So funny. But the gist of it was even Jessica Seinfeld, as in Jerry's wife, has posted Instagram pictures of this dog on the West Side Highway.
She
and it's your
drove
brother.
by them.
Yeah, it's your brother.
Yeah, it's
so
pretty
funny.
neat. So you never know when you can adopt a dog, but if you're on vacation, do some local research.
Absolutely.
And find out
And that's been
what's going on.
What's Going On, Mrs. Ryan? All right, we went way long. Lots of talking, lots of fun. Let's get our guest Loreena Esposito in here. We're going to talk about all things Porsche and women in Porsche and the Los Angeles scene and growing up in the biz and the whole bit, all the things. You ready? All right, just a few minutes. We'll be right back. Loreena Esposito will be in that chair when we come back. More after this.
I won't.
Okay. You don't strike me as the type who's going to get too worried during this. And with that, we are back sitting here with Loreena Esposito. Hi, how are you?
Good.
Thanks
Thank you for saying it right. That's amazing.
Did I get it right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, it's spelled how it sounds, right? Do people
You
screw it up a
think-
lot?
Oh yeah.
Oh.
I've started responding to anything with an L. So
Okay.
if you get close, I'm like, good job.
All right. Well, thank you for being here today.
Yeah.
I know you from your Women in Porsche Instagram,
Yeah.
and you posted the most lovely message the other day about your own situation, but
Yeah.
you included Mrs. Ryan, which of course got our attention very much so. And I think you guys had already been dealing with stuff to somehow commune and convene and the whole bit.
Yes, we're in love.
I'm
I
glad.
have a
I'm
new
glad that we
friend.
were able to do it here on the show. Is what I'm trying to
Yeah.
get to, and I'm looking forward to the conversation. I hope you'll be talking more today than usual, and I hope that you guys can do a little bit as well.
I'll chime in more.
All right. Well, where should we start with you? Should we start with Women in Porsche? Should we start with the fact that you grew up in this business? Should we start? Where do you want to start? Tell us a little bit about yourself.
Yeah. I hail from the great John Esposito. Most people in the Porsche business know John. That's kind of a
One of the
given.
most reputable restorers in the business, correct? Yes.
Yeah. 911 specifically, more so recently, I'd say 356, 914s as they kind of
Oh,
grow.
little everything now. Okay.
Yeah, we do a little bit of all of it. And then we just branched out into mechanical. So now we do one-stop shop kind of stuff, which is a
wow.
little bit crazy.
For restoration or just regular service too?
All service.
Holy smokes.
Yeah,
That's a
we
different
do-
deal.
it is.
That's a different deal. Different equipment, different skill sets, different
All
crew.
of the above.
Different everything.
Whoa.
Different everything. Yeah, I have now the biggest spot in my shop is devoted to mechanical work. So
What? I can't believe this. And I'm a logistics kind of guy, so I'm trying to think. Did you move? Did you expand? How did you
Yeah.
accommodate such a shift?
All of the
when you're
above.
already so busy doing your own business.
we were around the corner right by where TLG is,
Yeah.
and we moved to a space that was almost 3 times the size about 2 years ago.
Oh, wow.
Ideally, for us at the time, it was strictly for logistics, for space, and not having to have an overflow so much of work, you know.
Sure. Just
but-
breathing room sometimes helps
Yeah.
too if you get really busy. You need the
Yeah,
space.
well, we were busting at the seams. I mean, it was having to move cars out for an hour in the morning to have space to work and then move them all back in at night.
Oh, yeah.
Right.
Didn't really work very well. So we found this space. It's beautiful. It's 36,000 square feet, and it's
Whoa.
That's
exciting,
not
you know?
small. Yeah.
No,
so
it's
where
not.
are you? I remember when you were, shared a parking
Yeah.
lot with TLG, right?
Literally around the corner. So Raymer and Varna dissect, and that's where we are. So
Oh.
we
Oh,
actually
so
could
still
push
Raymer,
stuff
just
around
moved
the corner.
over.
Yeah.
Oh, wow. So you're
Yeah.
still in the same neighborhood.
We
now.
are, you can throw a rock from Emory across the street and hit our building.
Well, then I know exactly where you are.
So there you
My
go.
goodness gracious.
Yeah.
Wow.
Nice little Porsche community right there in those blocks.
Very much so. And for those who can't see, it's just right out here.
Right there.
Right on beautiful downtown North Hollywood over there.
Yeah.
Well, that's good then. At least it wasn't, like have to start from scratch and
No, I mean, we
get a
didn't.
new community and all that stuff.
Yeah, we didn't anticipate the mechanical at all, but once we were over there and had a little bit of extra space, and we kind of like, we should try this, take it on a little bit.
So
and
how did
it's
that
just
work? Did you buy a
boomed.
lift just because, well, this would be more convenient for our cars and everything, and then kind of just go from there?
Yeah, we had them already because we already did like suspension and things like that. But
And you guys do frame off anyway, so you have
Correct.
the rotisseries and all that
yeah,
stuff.
yeah. So we have to do from scratch, top to bottom, and then we hired a mechanic to kind of help us with alleviating some of the work with suspensions, brakes, things like that. And just realized that we had a lot of our customers who were like, I'd rather just leave the car here than transport it someplace else. And over time, I have a mechanic team of 4 now. And
wow. In 2 years, really? Less than 2 years.
Yeah.
Congratulations.
For you.
It's been amazing. It's a testament to good people.
And that was never part of that was never like, hey, we're going to grow the business in this direction and that's a choice and we're going to all head to, just kind of
like we went like, let's get a mechanic on staff, but we certainly didn't expect this. I mean, this has been manna, it's really
great.
Exciting. Yeah.
Success.
It's awesome growth.
Success is great.
I can't complain. I'm very happy with where we are right now. So,
Great.
Yeah. It's been fun.
All right, so that covers what you do a little bit without getting into the nitty-gritty details.
Correct. I mean, we restore cars.
Okay.
We restore Porsche.
Yeah. But are you out there doing it or do you run the business or because I've seen pictures of you with your hands dirty and I've seen pictures of you like at the computer.
Yeah, I do kind of all of it.
Okay.
I feel like the best way to lead is to know what you're talking about. So I like to get my hands dirty so that I can actually correct somebody's work or I can talk about why something is inappropriate. So
Inappropriate.
I have definitely gotten hands-on. My dad has given me the 101, of how to build a car and how to make it right. He's known for flares and for gaps and things like that. And
about hitting them right.
Exactly.
About getting them right. Yeah.
Yeah, having them be perfect. You go out to any kind of car show and you should be able to tell our cars from somebody else's just based on those 2 things. And that's what we take a lot of pride in. So
Okay.
I want to know how to manage that. And, being...
Is that your dad's eye attention for detail? Is that what that is? Where does that come from?
That's definitely his thing.
Okay.
He's always been a perfectionist when it comes to that, mainly because he has such a deep, profound appreciation for
That's
Porsche.
what I was going to say. Does he have that borderline like on the autistic spectrum kind of thing that we all sort of do of just I can see all the details?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, and he sees it all. He also has this really healthy respect and understanding of the fact that the cars were handmade. So he's that. Like, they're not supposed to be perfect because
no
literally,
two are alike.
Yeah, one guy was putting this together and then the next day somebody else was. And so you don't really know what you're getting. So he has kind of this pushback, I guess, a little bit too, of like respect the car for what it was instead of how perfect you can make it,
That's a great philosophy to have in your world.
It's definitely, we create drivers. Like I'm not out there trying to, despite the fact that we're restoration, I want people to drive their cars.
Isn't that weird? Does that kind of go against the whole, I mean, it really is kind of right? This is right in the middle of everything. It doesn't make any sense whatsoever. It's like, here's if you want one of the best restorations you can get, this is where you do it. But they're going to encourage you to drive it afterwards so they can restore it again in the future.
It would make no sense to me until I was in this world with you. And now I'm like, okay, make it as good as you can so that you can thrash it and go to town and see what this machine's about. And then you'll
How many
fix
people
it
do we know that put a $20,000 paint job onto their car with the intention of, and then I'm going to take it up to the mountain, and it sits in the garage and it doesn't get driven, and now the gaskets are going and the seals and the hoses and everything else.
I don't think people understand that the car falls apart whether you drive it or not.
Yeah.
So it's going to completely deteriorate, and it's actually better to put miles on the car. And so in our own way, we're going, actually, I don't want to see you anytime soon. So drive your car so that I can, know that you're taking care of it the way that you should. Now, if you got to fix the paint or something, come see me. But
in the meantime, use it and enjoy it.
Appreciate it. Yeah. Get out there and hit the road.
Yeah.
So, it's definitely what we encourage. We do have Concours cars. We had the Bahama Yellow soft window at the Peterson Museum last year. That was ours. So we have cars, obviously, that we do take a lot of pride in, and we go, okay, that's kind of, don't drive it, don't touch it.
Well, special cars or certain, special VINs. Sure.
Right. But for the most part, I love when a customer drives the car off the lot instead of tows it off. That's success.
Yeah. Instead of just here, deliver it to our barn.
Yeah. Yeah. I had one leave that way yesterday. It's going up to house number 5 up in San Luis Obispo.
It's wonderful, right? It's still a wonderful credit to what you do. Someone's going to eat off the damn thing, and put it behind their sofa in the living room.
Yep.
But that's not what your maybe ideal. People should do whatever they want to do.
I want them to do whatever they want. We tell people that from the day that they come in. It's like, this is your car. It's your build. You do whatever you want with it. I'm not going to try to dictate that process.
Do you have kind of like a pre-interview process where we say, okay, obviously, there's budget. Obviously, that's one concern. But like, what exactly are we going to do to this? Is it a full resto? Is it a cosmetic? Is it a mechanical now at this point? You can do that.
I have a menu, and I basically go like, look, here's everything that we do. You can walk through and is initial next to everything and let us know kind of what you're looking to do. And
Like
from
Chinese
that,
food, like a
we're
Chinese
able
menu
to-
in the old days, right?
Yeah.
Exactly.
That's what it sounds
Mark
like
off what
to
you
me.
want. Yeah. And it gives them an idea then too of what they're looking at financially, and then also what they can kind of piecemeal and go, okay, I can do this now, I can do this later,
Is that solely for the job, or are you also gauging like their level of commitment and where
100%.
exactly, like is it emotional? Is it financial? Like where is their connection to this car? Are they going to flip it? Are they going to keep it for their kids?
Yeah.
All of that stuff,
It
right?
helps me a lot to understand their commitment to the project and like how I need to sort of guide this.
Yeah.
There are a lot of people who kind of come in and they go, I want the full shebang and I want to do everything. And then they might have a $10,000 budget, and that's great, but we're not going to get everything out of that. It helps me to
Appreciate your honesty.
it helps me kind of gauge for them and then guide them in the right direction and,
Yeah.
go, okay, like, let's pick what we can do.
Do you run into that a lot? I mean, Porsche people I found are pretty informed from our experience. But do you run into that a lot where it's like, yeah, I want a full restoration. Okay, what are we talking here?
I have
Well, I mean,
$5.
15 grand, 15, 10, maybe 15, stretching to 15. And you want everything?
Yeah, I do, honestly, more frequently than you'd imagine.
Yeah, I figure. Okay.
And we're fortunate to be at the point where we can tell people, like, we're not your shop.
Okay. And you're comfortable telling people that.
Yeah. I mean, if I have people come in and they go, oh, well, I got an offer for a third of this.
You
I'm
should
like,
take it.
You should take that.
By all means. And come back to us when you want it
Like,
fixed.
Please go take it there. And that's great. I'm confident that you're not going to get my paint job, but that's great. Please do what you can with it.
Well, if you're selling your dad's eye too, you're
know,
not going to get that somewhere else. It's that
No.
simple. And it's
No.
not one of the, that's not even bragging rights. It's just, if you're coming here for this, it's not there.
Right. 100%. And I have to also not sacrifice our own integrity. So I can't go, okay, well, I'll try to make it
do a
work.
budget job.
Yeah,
Right.
I don't want to do that. I have a lot of people who come in and they go, oh, I don't need a Concord paint job. And I'm like, that's great, but you're still going to get one.
Right.
Because
That's what we do.
That's
that's
what
we
we do.
Right.
So you can not do Concord. That's fine.
Got my
Don't
card done
take
at
it to a
Esposito. Did you
show.
get the good job, or did you get the Port 911 special?
Yeah. Which one did you get? We call it the professor special now because we've started doing patina, jobs.
Oh,
Yeah.
but you did such a great job on that car because I mean, if you go and inspect, it's impossible to not tell. But you wouldn't know if you
No.
didn't know to go look.
No, and that was the whole point. I mean, obviously his car is so unique.
And kind of
Everybody
famous for
knows
being it, yeah.
Right? And we just kind of looked at it like we have to make it right, but also not look like it's been painted, And so my painter just really kind of took it upon himself to find a technique that worked, and it looks fantastic.
No kidding. That's really wild.
So, yeah.
I think, I hate to, well, let's make it positive, but I was thinking about our friend who passed away recently,
Yes.
Derek, and
Yeah.
you guys have had his car because you
I
were
have his
doing
car.
the work before he passed away,
Correct.
unrelated, nothing driving related. Can you talk about what's going to happen with that car, or
It's
is it still in the,
It's still kind of up in the air right now, but
but you guys still have the car?
I have the car and we're still fixing it because I feel like he deserves that. The car deserves to be repaired. We kind of let the family off the hook financially for right now and just went deal with, what's going on because I don't
They're-
feel like it's appropriate
yeah.
for us to be like, hey,
Their
I'm gonna
priorities
build
are
you,
elsewhere at the moment,
Yeah.
sure.
So we just let it be. I have, opportunity to make it a tribute car. We could do, somebody else could take it off their hands and do something that would kind of honor him.
Yeah.
But that's still up in the air right now. So,
Okay, well, that's great to
yeah.
know, though, that you are holding it and
Yep.
that the family's sort of in a holding pattern at the moment.
Yep.
But if anybody else perhaps wanted to
Yeah.
either come in and whether it's a donation or whether they want to
Correct.
get involved in the project somehow, whether
That's
You're the person to
definitely
talk to.
exactly. Yeah. I just think that what I would hope is that it would be somebody who would be willing to let us do some form of tribute to him, whether that's just
versus
his
just
name
buy the car
or
and- yes,
exactly.
I agree with
Yeah,
you.
I wouldn't want it to just go to somebody who's going to be like, now I'm going to redo the whole thing,
No.
because he was such a monumental part of our
Yeah.
community.
and it was a nice car. It'd be very easy to
Yes.
do that.
Yes.
Yeah, I agree with you.
Yeah, and it's the second time I'm fixing that car.
Yeah, I know.
So it was.
That
it
I
was
met him the day
very-
after the first one. I was
Yeah.
working that Lufka cult, and he showed up with
That's-
a flatbed,
that's
and
what-
to tell me the whole. That's when I met the Dur Fascination guys and all that crap.
They're a great crew.
I'll
I
just say
love
thank
those
you from the
guys.
community because that's a rare thing to get someone who's like, don't worry about it, we'll figure it out later.
Yeah.
That's really heartwarming and touching that you would see that part. That's really cool.
Thanks. It's
That's the
it's
human
so
element.
yeah, it's so important to us that this is a community, and it's I had another car that flipped over on its way up to Rensport reunion last year,
Oh.
and the family didn't realize that the car had a substantial value, and it only had liability insurance. And it's complete total. And so they were going to let it go.
I would
and we
still
were like,
buy
you
it.
can't,
Yeah.
you just can't, you have to keep the car. And it was a father passing it down to his daughter. And I was like,
my
I can't.
goodness.
So we're fixing it. And it's like, just,
We'll figure it out.
We'll figure it out. I can't tell people no to those things, So I,
Well, that's where the human interest comes in.
Yeah.
I mean, that may be what makes you different, perhaps.
Well,
I
glad
don't
I
know.
know
I don't
ya.
know every shop in town, but I do know that the stories I'm hearing about this they warm my heart, and that to me makes me go someplace.
Yeah.
Well, we tell people that you're a part of the Espo family. Like we want you, when you come into our shop, to be a part of our family. I mean, we're Italian. The family's big.
Yeah. Here, come on in, eat.
So eat, manja. That's great. And
Absolutely.
I feed my staff every day, and we have a big
Do you
barbecue
really?
on
I'm
Fridays.
gonna come over. Oh my goodness.
I cook.
Wait, you cook the barbecue on Fridays?
Yeah.
What time does it start? Because we have a breakfast club that probably ends right around lunchtime.
You should come. We have a lot of our customers who come on Fridays now, and so
No
we
kidding.
grill, we do something like that, and then every day throughout the week I meal prep for everybody so that they eat for real. Yeah,
You're rad.
happy people.
I've seen you were a few minutes late because you were dealing with work today, and I've
Yes.
seen how much work you've been doing since you've been here today.
Yes.
How do you have time to then make a meal
don't
for 20
sleep.
people or however many people work for you?
I don't sleep.
Is that true?
That's pretty true,
one of those?
actually. Yeah.
Do you not need it, or are you just?
I mean, that kind of
avoiding it?
goes back to the health thing a little bit. But no, I have a really amazing team who helps me manage and balance a little bit. And actually, my mom helps me cook every week. So
that's awesome.
She and I get together and we kind of do a lot of that.
So both of your parents are alive. That's amazing.
Both of my parents
that's
are
wonderful.
Yeah, and they're both very involved. My mom helps with all the events and stuff like that. And anytime we do like an open house, she's
Does
like
everyone
Miss
else know
Decorator.
that? I've never heard about. I've always heard about John and the daughter.
Yeah, no, because my parents it's kind of weird. My parents are divorced, so they're not actually together, and my mom
You
just
are
supports
interesting.
me, and they're still friends, and that's just kind of how it works. So
Okay.
yeah,
There's
it's a
nothing
little
wrong
bit,
with that.
It's a little different, but it's fun. It's
My parents were
really
friendly
neat.
before my dad died. They were
Yeah.
divorced for years and years, but they were friendly, so I get that.
I was not even 2 when my parents got divorced. So
Oh, you probably don't even remember them being together.
no.
Wow.
Yeah. I just remember growing up, my dad would come out every Wednesday and usually had a different car. A lot of times it was a Porsche. He had a few Speedsters growing up. And I very vividly remember sitting in the seat and like my feet didn't even extend past the end of the seat. And, probably shouldn't have been in the front seat, but that's where I was.
Well, back then, I don't think
There
it
weren't
mattered.
rules
Nobody
then.
cared.
I mean, I'm
No
only a
one
few
cared.
years older.
And we're here, right?
Yeah,
We're
exactly.
alive. We made it. We're
I used
just
to ride in the
fine.
backpack of the Beetle.
Yes.
The backpack, where on top of the engine,
Yes.
underneath the back
In
windshield.
the Beetle?
Mm-hmm.
Like, I know that from station wagons, but not Beetle.
It wasn't the same thing. There was not a lot of room back
No.
there, but that's where we
He
used to
had
ride the
it.
kids in the backpack.
Yeah, he had a
Jeez.
weird hatchback once that I used to have to lay down in the back. Like I was like behind the hatchback.
Under the glass.
Yes.
Oh,
So
God.
we did stuff that
Stargazing.
Yeah. But it was great. It was fun, and I grew up around the cars and learning them that way. And
So you guys are LA family, right? You're born and raised here.
Yep.
What's that like for you? Knowing we moved here and then we're new in the Porsche community a couple years ago. You know what I
Right.
mean? It's all this is new for us. You are born and raised
Yeah.
in this and have probably seen it all, I would imagine.
because I've only been with my dad in this business for a few years now, but I've been.
Well, we're gonna
around
get to
it
what you did before.
forever. Yeah, great. No, I'm great, open book. But I actually, a lot of people don't know, I grew up with Marco from TLG, so I went to his bar mitzvah, and
because
I used
you
to
were-
go swimming with him and stuff. So
And then the dads were friends, right?
Tony and John were really close. Tony actually gave my dad his first space when he started this iteration of his business 11 years ago.
Is that the one that was across that we knew?
Well, it was, actually in Tony's shop.
Oh.
And then he expanded after that into the other space and then grew and grew and grew. So
No
he's just kind
kidding.
of continued to expand.
Because I've heard this story so many times because I love the origin story.
Yeah.
So I heard that, that place used to not even be partitioned out,
Yep.
and then they actually separated all the different divides of the stalls.
And then we moved
everything.
across and took on the whole other side of the building.
Jeez.
And then
we
now
are
3
around
times the
corner.
size of that.
Yeah, yeah. So
Look
Gosh,
at the
all right. So
ecosystem.
growing up in LA, friends with Marco, going to bar mitzvahs and stuff.
I mean, it's just funny to see people like that now, and we're running our own family businesses and doing stuff like that, and you go, wow, like
Look at us now.
we were kids.
We were kids.
We were weirdo kids. We used to play. There's this running joke. We'd play Marco Polo, and obviously playing Marco Polo
I don't get it.
with Marco was really funny.
I bet he loved it.
What, Marco? What? But it's been It's been an experience, and knowing Tony, losing Tony, and then being a part of this whole community as a whole, I think what I've learned more than anything is that it really is family. Everybody in this Porsche community is just, they're so tight, and I am highly fortunate to be a part of it.
Yeah. Oh,
So,
good for you.
Yeah, it's
Well, we feel that way even only 3, 4, 5 years in, whatever it's
Yeah.
been in Los Angeles. I
Yeah.
mean, we just feel so ingratiated, and there's so much love here.
It's welcoming. It's just one big happy family.
Yeah.
It's unbelievable.
But it's almost like the hippie aspect from the Volkswagen
Uh-huh.
never left the Porsche family out here in the
100%
Los Angeles,
agreed.
California, the whole thing.
Yeah.
It's very interesting.
Yeah.
Well, and I hear that a lot from people. I have a lot of clients who are all over the world, and I'll get people who kind of ask about that sometimes. And you can tell if you're from LA right away. If somebody calls me, I'm like, you're one of us,
How they sound or what they're saying?
What they're saying, the way that they're approaching the restoration, whether or not they drive their car, I mean, there's a lot of that.
Wow.
It's very different. And if
You can tell what their
you're-
culture is based on how they treat the car.
Absolutely. If you're from New York, it's not the same thing as it is from California at
Yeah.
all.
You can't drive the same there.
No.
It's just not feasible.
You're not
Well, you're
taking your
season
car
locked,
out.
unfortunately.
Yeah, exactly.
Right.
No
Yeah.
snow and salt. So, although we get those cars, I see them.
Yeah, well, that's the thing. I grew up around Porsches my whole life because they were at every gas station. 911s, 356s at every gas station. 911s were under 10 grand, and 356s were under 5, and they all
That's
had a broken
crazy.
windshield and
Yep.
a grease pencil written on the thing,
Well,
best
nobody
offer or whatever.
knew.
Sitting at
Nobody
every
knew what they
gas
were going to
station.
be. They had no idea. I have, a dime a dozen of people who tell me, "Oh, I bought this car for $5,000, and then it's been sitting in my garage this whole time, and now I'm going to fix it." And
It's a $250,000 car now.
I wish I'd had that car. It's crazy. And then I think about all the ones that my dad had that he let go too, and I'm like, Dad,
You can't do that math.
killing me.
You'll never do that math. No.
I don't, because I would probably cry.
Yeah.
So I just can't.
You mentioned a number of speedsters, right? That'll do it. That'll do
that
it.
right there, and I'm like, now he's got a Harley, and I'm like, great. That's
Thanks a lot.
great.
Good
Yeah.
job.
Are you an only child?
I am.
Oh,
Yeah.
wow,
Well,
me
I'm his
too.
only kid. Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Which makes it interesting in this business because there's no son to pass it down to, and
Okay.
it's like that's me. I mean, my dad wanted a boy, I think, and it was pretty evident growing up. It was like softball and cars and things like that.
Well, you had the tomboy thing for a long time, right?
Yep.
Yes, my dad wanted a boy at
Sports and
first
stuff.
too.
I mean, it's just
It happens.
It happens. He used to take me.
Were you
play
supposed to be a
golf.
boy or anything like that? Nothing like that. There was
They,
no surprise.
They did. No, I was
Oh,
actually.
I was too. I was supposed to be a girl.
they
I was
told
supposed to be a boy.
everybody I was a
When we
boy.
were baby, like in
Yeah.
vitro, like they didn't know how to do that stuff.
Not anywhere near it. They said based on where she was carrying and how big I was,
Yeah.
I was 100% a boy. My mom was like, "It's a girl. I know it's a girl." She
She
knew.
could tell chemically, right?
Yeah,
Hormonally.
she just knew. And
She's like, I'm making a girl. That's how it's going to
yeah,
be. Yeah,
exactly.
that's how it's going to be.
Exactly.
I'm baking this bread.
She prayed all the time, and she was like, "I want a girl. I want a girl." And she prayed for a baby that would have eyes that were the window to her soul. So she
my
was like,
goodness.
"That's what I wanted." And I came out with these big giant eyes.
So
and I
I'm
was
looking
like,
into
you
your
know,
mom's soul right now.
you
Is that
are.
right? That's amazing.
That's it. She's a wonderful, wonderful woman.
What's her name?
So Terry.
Okay.
Yeah.
And
So
your customers know her because she's present.
they
in
know
the-
her now. Yeah,
That's cool.
It's kind of neat to have her around that way because it was never nobody ever thought that was going to happen. Nobody
weird
thought
story.
I'd be here, let
great.
alone like.
So
going
back
that
in the
route.
day when it was Tony and Lois.
Yes.
Is that right? And Gerasi, I guess. So it was that
was
family business. So
Tony,
you guys
Lois, yeah.
were. It was just John. Your mom
Just-
wasn't
no.
involved at that time.
Not at all.
Okay.
No. Yeah, she was not involved until I got involved, and
Oh,
really,
of
she's
course,
just
that makes sense.
here to kind of support me. But we do big events now. We do caffeine and gasoline, and we do all these things. And
What's
I'm,
caffeine and gasoline?
It's our own
Cars and
this
coffee,
side of
obviously.
town cars and coffee.
Hang on, I love it. I
'cause-
haven't heard about it.
Yeah, everybody goes out to Orange County or to Santa Monica, and we had so many of our customers that were like, I can't get up at 5 a.m. to be there by 6. So we do a slightly later in the day. It starts at 8 or 9, depending on what my mood is that week or how I'm feeling. And we have it at the shop, so people can bring
Oh.
their cars. They can get to see other cars that are in process.
What
and
day of the
hang
week
out.
of the month?
Sundays.
Oh, every
Sundays.
Sunday?
No,
Just an
it's
open
one
house?
Sunday a month, and we do it.
Rotating.
We do them. I would say we probably manage to get out 8 a year, based on other events. So we're not doing one in September because hello
everything else.
concourse, right?
Yeah.
I mean, we've got LA this week, and then Zuffenhausen the following
I just
week.
found out about
and-
LA yesterday.
Yeah.
Are you participating in that?
We are. We're sponsoring, and we're going to be there this week. Yeah.
Oh, that's cool.
And then we'll be at Zuffenhausen the next week.
We're participating in that one. We were invited to that
Beautiful.
one.
Yeah, good. That'll be good.
Yeah.
It's such a great event. Those guys are awesome.
We haven't been. We didn't get to go to the one last year, and it was, I think, at Santa Anita. But this
It
one
was.
at the town hall, I love that. The Paseo there, I love that setting.
That space
for a
is
car show.
Really
amazing
pretty.
for car shows. Santa Anita was fun, but there were a lot of kinks that nobody really thought about with the horses and
We
stuff.
wanted to go,
so-
but you couldn't because you were locked in. It
Yes.
was one of those, we can't commit to 6
Yes.
hours with our
Oh,
health.
trust me, if I would have known,
Oh, okay.
it wouldn't have been a thing.
All right. Well,
Yeah.
that was the only reason we weren't there, because it sounded and looked wonderful.
It was really neat. I was able to leave after a while, but we were all locked in.
Yeah, I heard somebody did leave and caused quite a ruckus.
It did, yeah. Well, as long as you left and didn't turn your car on, it was fine. But you couldn't go under the tunnel without, like,
It was a noise abatement thing.
it was.
Oh, I didn't
Yeah,
realize.
it was freaking the horses out. So they
Oh, that's-
they put everybody on lockdown.
Yeah, and they're
I mean, it
already
made
having bad
sense.
horse luck over there anyway. So.
Yeah, it was not the right time to.
Yeah, logistics planning for next time. Keep that in mind.
Yeah, well, it was when the professor mentioned to me about doing an event there too. The first thing I said to him
The
was
Californian.
like, yeah,
Yeah.
I was like, you might want to
Same
talk
problem.
to the same guys about, yeah.
Yeah.
Nah. It's a beautiful space, but not for cars. A little scary for cars
Yeah.
during
makes
racing. During racing.
They don't go together. You got nature and man's made creation over here.
I feel like it's almost like
You know, all that stuff.
oxymoronic, you know.
little bit.
Let's not do that,
Not the same.
Can we talk about Women in Porsche?
please.
What is
Yeah.
Women in Porsche? What is your goals? Tell us anything you want to tell us about Women in Porsche.
Well, Women in Porsche was born out of my own search for the community that already existed that I found out didn't exist. I wanted to
It's
find
all the
other,
best things are made, by the way.
Yeah, right. It's just they're organic, I guess. I went looking for other women who were like me, and I figured they existed.
What does that
but,
mean, though?
Business owners or women who worked on cars or but specifically Porsche, obviously, because there's a lot of like femme mechanic groups out there, but there weren't really anybody that were solely focused around Porsche. And I was really shocked that Porsche themselves hadn't done this yet. But being the business person that I am, I was like, well, I'm going to go ahead and lock that in for myself then.
It's not there, and I have the idea. Why wouldn't you?
So I ran with it, and we launched officially like end of February of this year, and it's just
Yeah, 6
exploded.
months, 7 months, something like that.
Yeah.
Amazing.
I can't believe how big
That's
it's
awesome.
I mean, it's ridiculous.
And it's growing still. I mean, it's not like, oh, you got there and
Oh
you're
no,
happy. I mean, it's on its way.
skyrocketing, and
Yeah.
but it's amazing because it's solely organic, and people are just so excited about it, and it's given us these opportunities, that we wouldn't normally have. And I love it. It's been really neat. We just started filming. Let me back up. I wanted it to be a community similar to the PCA, where you have shows or groups or whatever. You can go do these things, but from a women's standpoint, or the people who support those women. So
more,
it's not
just more women focused.
Yeah, exactly.
Not only women, but maybe more focused. Than.
Exactly.
Okay.
And highlighting their stories. And one of
that.
the things that I found really fascinating when I started meeting some of these women is that we all have a deeply rooted story somehow in our connection to this. So whether
Very
it's
much. Oh, good.
yeah, I mean,
good.
whether it's a connection through a spouse or it's a connection through our fathers or whatever, there's something there. And it's emotional for many of us, and it's very much founded in a passion or a heart. And, so I felt like that needed to be shared.
Mm-hmm.
But also, I mean, there's a little bit of a stigma, that kind of goes with that I wanted to shake and go like, no, women can be involved in this and be really good at it.
Yeah.
And that shouldn't be surprising. It should be normal. And so I want to tell those stories in a way that helps to normalize women being in this industry. I don't want it to stand out so much as
Right,
just
fit in.
Fit in.
Yeah. I think you
Exactly.
found a pocket. I think you're going to be fine.
I'm excited.
So, but you're going to make video. You're already making videos. There's going to be
Yeah.
some profiles.
Yep.
You're going to be raising awareness. It sounds like.
Yes.
Will there actually be events in the future, or that's just
There will
down
be.
the road?
We're going to do drives. We're going to do some kind of holiday gala kind of thing that we want to do that's charity based.
Fun.
We're going to have chapters. I have a few people all over the United States already
Awesome.
who are like getting ready to kind of launch their own chapters of Women in Porsche.
That's great.
So it's
the
going to
franchise
be
out there. That's a great, great
yeah.
thing.
Because it's as much as I love it and it's my baby, I want other people to feel like it's theirs and they can own it and be a part of it.
That's just it. You're here.
Yeah.
You're here, and this can be the hub, and it can
Yep.
be the original Cars and Coffee or whatever.
Yep.
But then you gotta
grow.
get
You
it
got
to
to
the
let it
people.
be there. If it's going to be truly about telling the stories of all the women in Porsche, then it needs to be out there.
Yeah.
It needs to be universal where they all are. I've got a woman that will eventually be on the show who's in Italy, and she's a mechanic who works on Porsches, and
Nice.
we got to talk about her.
Love
you
it.
know, so we got to get out there and do that.
So what is your plan? Is it YouTube now, or is it going to be a podcast, or what? How what's your? And I don't mean to get ahead if you're not sure
it's
yet.
okay. We're going to do YouTube and IGTV for right now, kind of focus on those two platforms.
Yep.
Maybe podcast down the line. I haven't quite decided on that, but right now we're going to stick to those two formats.
Can I just say I think that you should at
Yeah.
some point when you get a chance. Not because I you're very well spoken. You're
thank
very
you.
well put together. You have a voice that I would listen to, and I feel that other people would also.
Thank you.
So I think-
appreciate that.
Yeah, I would at least consider it.
Yeah. I mean, definitely I am. I think that it would be really neat to have a talk show that's centered around those kind of things and have some of these other girls
Or
on
just
there
one
to
that's based
talk
at your
and-
shop. It's so easy
Yeah.
for you to do
Yeah.
that it becomes fun, and then it's a creative release for you as
Yeah.
well, and it makes the rest of the job more fun. You know what I mean? It's one of those.
Oh, it does.
We're
I
still working,
love
but we're
that.
having more fun with it because we're working at stuff we love doing, and it's more fun.
Yes.
Yeah.
And that's exactly, I think in the last couple of years, I feel like I've arrived, I guess you could
Good
say.
for you.
It's like,
Yeah.
all right, I'm doing something that I'm comfortable in, that I love. It's a marriage of all of my passions, and it's just been really neat. It's been really fun to sort of culminate in something that I feel like I'm really proud of.
It's amazing.
Awesome.
It's the best place to be in life. Are
It
you
is.
kidding?
It's exciting. for
I've
sure.
arrived. I mean, that's amazing when you find yourself. You mentioned your other interests. What are they? And then can we talk about what you used to do? Because
Yeah.
I know you used to work at Starbucks.
I worked at Starbucks for a very long time. Very long time. all
That's
through
not what I
college.
meant.
That was it. That's all I did. No, actually, I went from Starbucks out to Las Vegas, and I am a musical theater trained performer who I performed on the Strip for 7 years. So
I came up through musical theater. So you were, at what point? Are you a show girl? Are you in the chorus? Are you lead lady? What kind of stuff?
I'm leading lady. I was out there doing, I did regional credits for Les Mis. I was Fantine in Les Mis. I did, a couple other bigger roles.
How old were
similar
you
to
when you
like
did that? Because she's a young girl, right?
Eponine is the young girl. Fantine
Oh, you're right,
is the,
you're right.
the mom who died, really dramatic death, and
I got
she's
it.
the
I got it.
whore.
I confused
Yeah.
the two. Yeah.
Yeah, that one. So, it was great. But it was
That's incredible,
beautiful.
though.
Yeah.
I came up through musical theater as well, but local, like local.
Yeah.
Children's theater, summer stock, all of the local stuff. And then we would just go see Broadway shows all the time.
I mean, I did all of those things and then moved on to doing
Vegas.
stuff in Vegas. Yeah. And I
Wow.
was there. I worked in major casinos and did, big shows, little shows.
Why are you not
single
doing that anymore?
shows.
Did you stop enjoying it at some point?
No, I still actually really love it. And I'm actually launching my own theater company out here because I'm crazy and don't have enough on my...
about a podcast.
Because I don't have enough to do as it is, right?
Oh my goodness gracious! You don't sleep much.
No, but I also know how to make other people work for me. So
I just had a weird. I'm looking at you right now, and I've never met you till today. But I just had a weird thing where you looked like somebody famous, and I realized it's somebody famous also with the last name Esposito. You're not in any relation to Jennifer Esposito.
no, but I've heard that. Yeah.
But I didn't think it at all until just a second ago. I didn't even remember she existed until just a second ago, and then you did look like her. No relation.
I see
Nope.
it.
No
Okey-doke.
relation.
Well, she's
Although
very pretty.
Espositos are, it means little deposit, which was orphans.
I didn't want to come right out and say it.
Right? They're orphans. So we don't know where we came from. Like, Espositos have no idea where we came from. So we all are technically related,
Well, that's amazing.
but we're not.
Okay.
So, yeah, kind of a weird.
Aren't we all?
Right?
That's kind of amazing. I don't know. You're fascinating me more and more each time. Well, I was a Vegas leading lady and doing Les Mis and stuff.
I
Now
knew
run my dad's
nothing
car
other
thing.
than Instagram and a little bit of
Where did
history.
Starbucks fit into that? Was that when you were young?
Starbucks.
Yeah, I actually started at Starbucks when I was 18. So
Oh,
I worked,
okay.
I worked
So
for
that's the kid
Starbucks
job.
all the way. Well, and then my first management job came through Starbucks. So I grew into it and became a store manager, area manager.
This is here in LA. At that
Pasadena.
Point.
Yeah, yeah,
Is the store still there?
yeah,
Do you ever go in there and be like, in my day,
yeah.
you know,
Oh yeah.
this used to be $1.50.
It was though. It was $1.50. I can't believe it now. I'm like $3.25.
Are you crazy?
Some old lady, you know. I'm
Rip-off.
like,
Never mind, I'll make it myself.
yeah. There have been times where I'm like, if you just let me back there, I can make this better.
Yeah.
I'll get in and out of your way real quick. It's fine.
I'll show you a little thing about quality control too while we're at it.
Oh yeah,
Oh, man.
absolutely. No, I got laid off from Starbucks during the 2008-2009, like stock market crash. So they laid all of us off, and
So that's when you
That's
decided to get
when
into
I-
acting and went to Vegas?
yeah, kind of.
I mean, that's
Yeah.
amazing to me. So are you just, forgive me, this is kind of a weird question, but it's been asked of me before. Are you just one of those people who's naturally gifted and you're just kind of like good at whatever you put your energy towards?
Yeah,
Okay. Good for you. Good for you for knowing that. Good for you for admitting it.
I'm.
You make it
I'm
look
one of
easy,
these
right?
people who doesn't. I don't believe that I can't.
Oh, my
I just
goodness
go
gracious. There
make it
is.
work. Like if you work hard enough at something, then you can do it. And I know my limitations. I know when I need to get somebody else involved or have help and support, but I think that's also a skill. And but I have definitely done my fair share of like fake it till you make it,
Okay.
or somebody will go like, "Can you do this?" And I'm like, "Yeah,
Sure.
I got
Of course
that."
I can. I'm an
And then
actress.
and then I figure it out,
Yeah,
So,
that's the best way
But-
anything gets done.
but yeah, I mean, I with the tools, I guess, that are in my larder, so to speak, it works itself out into a lot of different arenas. I think that the acting plays into sales and management and leadership, and I think that it, allows for you to kind of put on a thick skin. I
That's
think
interesting.
that it all sort of intertwines.
Well, if anything, it teaches you how to play a role and then
Yep.
stick with that role and
Yeah.
commit to it, right? Because I was thinking to myself, if anything, it would maybe help you. You have to be a people person.
Yeah.
Like you're doing a job where you're selling car work and
Yeah.
all this stuff, but you're really in interacting with
sales,
people type business. I wonder. How about this? If you didn't go into, if you didn't end up in Porsche right now, if that wasn't the family business, if you didn't go into that, what would you have done? Like what else would you do? You're so all over the place.
I was simultaneously with doing theater in Vegas because I wanted to only do passion projects. I didn't want to be like a spokesmodel or,
Yeah.
standing at a trade show kind of like
The new Alante.
I didn't want to do that. And that's what a lot of girls have to do to make money.
That was the option to be in the car space
Yeah.
at one point.
it was
Stand
like
there and look pretty and point
yeah.
at a car.
That was pretty much it.
And I've seen showgirls, and even that leads to other things sometimes that you don't want to get
Yeah,
involved
you just
in.
don't want to get into that. And
Yeah.
that was really, it was like, if in order to do all these great projects, but pay your bills, you have to do both.
Supplement.
So I didn't want to do that. And I opted to stick with retail sales management. And I was like high end up in, high end retail kind of stuff. And so I oversaw markets and districts and things like that. And that was where like my business background came into play with coming in to work for my dad, is
Sure.
that I had managed all these multi-million-dollar businesses and then came over here. I always did that so that I could just do passion projects from a performance standpoint, so that I was only doing the work that I felt really excited about.
Almost not dissimilar to Jay Leno of like always have two jobs, and then one has this purpose and one has this purpose.
One's passive income and you just rake it
Right.
in, and then the other one's like what you like to do.
Yeah,
Exactly.
I wouldn't call it passive, but yeah, I do understand your
Yeah,
point.
not for Leno, I guess, right?
Or you. I'm saying you're putting in the effort in all these things. There's no
it's-
passive
Yes,
to it.
nothing passive about that,
it's
but like
so much
the
work.
standard.
Yeah, exactly. One is your kind of bread and butter,
Mm-hmm.
and then the other one is your passion work. And that was really what I centered
is that what keeps
around
you
in
balanced?
Vegas. Yeah.
A lot of
Yeah.
people don't find that.
You
They don't
have
have
to
their
have
creative
it.
outlet. And Instagram's helping me, because you get to
It
take a
is.
pretty picture or do whatever the heck. And so is
Yep.
doing this little project, obviously.
Yeah,
It's become our
Instagram
livelihood.
is huge, and being able to be a part of that in and of itself is huge. Being on stage is so different than being on film because you're hidden in a way. You have like the break of the stage, and you can't really see out into the audience.
Well,
and so
there's a
you're not
separation.
interacting.
It's the curtain. You're describing it.
Yeah.
Front of house and back of house. There is a
Yep.
division.
And I liked that because I felt like I could go on stage, be, a performer, be somebody else, and never have to look into the eyes of an audience member. Doing film and putting myself into these, these videos that I'm doing right now is very outside of my comfort zone.
And you're being yourself.
Yeah.
You're not a character.
Correct. Yeah. So I feel a little bit odd. And there definitely has been this need for me to kind of embrace the fact that people are okay seeing me and
What do you mean by that?
Like that. I don't like putting myself out there.
Oh, yeah, but that's because none of us do.
Yeah.
She doesn't like her voice. I don't like mine. It's awful. I can't stand everything I say.
Yeah. I mean, I think if you have any ounce of humility, and you just don't. You're like, nah, somebody else do it. But yeah.
But you're quite good at it. Do you see that part? Are you able to see that, or are you too critical?
No, I try to see it. I try to go, okay, it's there. It's a talent.
You're the right person to be doing what you're doing is what I'm trying to say.
Yeah. I mean, I think that's what I'm trying to lean on a little bit. And I look at like the logistics and I go, okay, well, the posts of me talking get a lot more play, and then the ones of me just posting a car don't. So it's like,
because you're letting them in.
Yeah.
Yeah,
it's the human side of it.
We learned the same thing, and it was kind of weird because you don't want to, especially when you're working towards something like this, where this was the goal or whatever. And it's like, well, you want to have that curtain, you want to have the show, and then your life. Those days are gone. These days, people want to know every little bit. So then we started doing walk into the set, walk out of it, and all that stuff. And then it was like, oh yeah, we like that more.
Yeah, people start to really relate to you as a human being, and
when they see you're not perfect, right?
Yes.
Well, certainly for the Women in Porsche thing, like you're pulling the veil back on the relationships that women have with people that like cars sometimes.
Yes.
Like that's a deep, intimate conversation that you get to have. And so if people don't know you, that doesn't mean as much, you know? So you're doing a really good thing.
Thank you.
Whatever it means.
Thanks. No, I appreciate that 100%. I mean, it's important for me to know that we're sort of hitting the nail on the head, because it is all navigating uncharted waters right now. So it's a little
You're smart.
bit
You
out
sound
of it.
smart enough to know that like something has to get done. Like who's the right person for it? Sometimes it's you know, like it is what it is.
Yeah.
Like,
I mean, it's
why you get so much done.
It's been finding the right women to kind of partner with too. And we selected this first panel of women this last time that we did our filming. It was unbelievable how it all sort of fell into place, but how now everybody has this really tight camaraderie and they're all excited to be a part of this and be whipsters, and it's going to be really fun.
Can we talk about some of the people that we're going to see soon?
Absolutely.
Who have you chosen already, or who have you who's in your
Well, you guys, Instagram wise, Def Sushi, Milani, Rachel, goes by both.
We just heard about Def Sushi for the first time the other day from G.I. Jen at the PEC on Monday.
Now we hear about it again.
Yeah, so this is
she's
she
up
new
and coming,
or okay?
So she's, I mean, I would say like you guys, Brittany Leister, and so she's kind of in that same
she's been
category.
here actually.
Yeah, so she's kind of in that same ballpark. She goes to all the shows, but she has her own cars, and she has, we're actually going to build her 912, so we're going to work on that together
on 912 today. What a great announcement! Well done.
Yes, exactly. So she was on my panel. Andy from Porsche, California. So she is.
Is her name Andy?
Yes.
I didn't know that. She's so nice. We're friends on the thing. In fact, she just ordered a California badge to match ours.
Oh, cool.
The whole California thing.
Yeah.
She's so nice.
She's
and
ridiculously sweet.
Is she in some way connected with Samuel
They're
from Beverly Hills?
Together.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because social media, they certainly seem to be, but you can't.
They definitely cross-pollinate a lot.
Yes.
But they are together. Yes.
Okay. So
Yeah.
you've had her. She's very nice.
Yep.
That's great.
Yep. And then if you know the egg, if you've ever seen it's Catherine and the Egg.
Oh, Catherine, she comes up to Breakfast Club every once in a while.
Yep.
What's her last name? Her video's playing at the PEC.
I'm drawing a blank on her last name.
Me too.
Right now.
But she's got the old 356,
she has the, old
white
356
356.
that looks like an egg. So she was there. And then newcomer to me is Vanita, who will be at Zuffenhausen in a couple weeks.
Is this Carlos's wife, Vanina, by any chance?
No.
Vanita.
Oh, Vanita.
Vinita.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and so she's, I guess, going to do some filming and stuff at Zuffenhausen in a couple weeks. And so I had her come in. And so that was kind of my start.
And did you do it just in the shop? Did you set up, just 2 chairs and some lights? Or what was the setup?
The shop, my lobby is designed, I designed it around mid-century modern. So I wanted it to very much look like the cars that we work on.
Yes,
right?
yes.
So
you're saying all the right things.
I have these great like orange chairs, and we used those. And I've got this wall that kind of goes along the back of the lobby that has all kind of old Porsche parts and stuff like that on it.
So you already have a set. You've created your lobby as a set already, and then you can just use that.
We use it,
Oh,
yeah.
Great.
And then I have my office that's very bright and it's like the one office in the shop that's white and has lots of light and stuff like that. And so we use that for our panel discussion where we have couches and things like that in there. So a couple different options. But
It sounds fun.
it's really neat. It's really fun. Some people have posted pictures of it on Instagram already of us like sitting in the little chairs.
Oh, I have to look for that.
So it's really cool. And my videographer is just phenomenal. So I'm just really excited to have the team that I have.
This is amazing.
Mm-hmm.
This is truly amazing.
It's all just come from the connections. I mean, God bless Instagram.
But you're like right there right now, the nucleus. I mean, that's it.
Yeah, I think so. I'm just, I don't know, I'm riding the wave.
Good for you.
I think it's going to be really fun, and I just can't wait to see what comes of it. So
Fantastic. Well,
Yeah.
what is coming up? We should do a billboard. Let's see. How do people get in touch with you? All of that stuff.
yeah,
And
well,
then social media and everything.
at Women in Porsche, straight up, just Women in Porsche, and
Women in
then espo.porsche is
For the
kind of
shop.
our for the shop.
All right.
So if you want a car done, that's where we'd go. Although people are calling me now. It's really weird how this is happening. But yeah, Women in Porsche specifically is really my heart song right now. So
Okay.
that's kind of what's growing. We are shooting.
And then there'll be a YouTube channel, which
There
is
will
also
be.
Women
Also
in Porsche.
Same thing, Women in Porsche. It's
Beautiful.
already there, so people can kind of go subscribe already. But
Oh, good. We'll do that.
yeah,
Because
it's
once you
there.
get 1,000 subscribers, then you can unlock a bunch of other stuff.
Exactly. Yeah. So we definitely need that support. And we will start uploading all of the rest of those videos pretty soon. We're going to do tech sessions as well. So we're going to do a series of the interviews, but also me teaching about things that have to do with restoration and builds and things like that.
That's
Very cool.
smart. That's
Yeah.
very cool.
It'll be
It'll keep
fun.
you occupied all those hours you're not sleeping.
Exactly. See, it was all there for a reason.
How do you feel about this? Are you okay? You comfortable?
Oh yeah,
Okay.
100%.
I was going to say,
Yeah.
you're doing a bunch of these your own now, so.
It's different to be on this side of it, but it's fun.
What do you think of what we do here in our little tiny place? Can you believe it?
I
Little
love
miniature talk
it.
show.
This is great.
It's fun, right?
It's so fun.
Yeah.
It's so fun. I
We're
mean,
having
it's
a ball.
just it's exciting to see people doing what they love. You know,
Yeah.
Yeah, who knew? Who knew it was possible? Just follow your dreams, folks. It's that simple.
I think that's the key, right? I mean, we're all a testament to that now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
For sure.
Yeah.
Let's see. Coming up this weekend, you are going to be at,
PCALA concourse on
which is
Sunday.
at the airport of, the Museum of
Museum of
Flying at the
Flying.
Santa Monica Airport.
Yeah.
It was always one of our favorite events. I'm kind of bummed that we're not.
Yeah, it's really neat, but it'll be fun. Yeah, it'll be really
Yeah.
fun. We're not entering a car this year, but
Okay.
we're a sponsor this year, so we're going to be there for a booth, and I'll have my Women in Porsche stuff out there now. I have buttons and stickers, and
I was
Ooh.
talking to Stan. Do you know Stan?
Uh-huh.
Stan Kaplan. He's.
Yeah.
We probably all share Stan in some way or another. He's fantastic in the community. We were talking to him just yesterday about it, and he was like, "Yeah, it's this weekend. Thanks for you're coming, right?" And I was like, "Oh, guess what? We didn't make the cool kids list on that one this year. We'll be at this other stuff." There's so much stuff in LA. You're a good person to ask because you've probably experienced it for so long.
Yeah.
There are so many things in LA to do at all times car related.
Yeah.
There just are. SoCal car culture is everywhere. How on earth do you decide what to go to, when, where? How do you pick? Because we've had to come up with a system, and that's why I'm asking. And
Yeah.
if there's another one, I'd love to know if there's a better way to do it.
no, I mean, because for me, it's twofold. I obviously have health things that I have to balance in my life, so I try to pick
We
the
didn't even
things
talk about that.
no, we didn't get there. That I only work every other Saturday. So if an event falls on a weekend that I'm working, then I'll do it.
Mm-hmm.
And if it doesn't, then I won't.
Good for
so
you.
I balance my life that way a little bit.
So everybody just comes up with a system that works
Yeah.
for them. Is that all it
Yeah.
is?
You
We've
have
been
to
doing
find
the
one that
whole.
does
We just
that.
we'll only go to the ones we're invited to because we
Yeah.
get invited to so many things. Would you
Yeah.
please come to this? And it's not like a paid appearance or anything like that. But people, how about this? Just like anybody, we want to go where we're wanted.
Right.
So
of
we go to the
course.
places that we're invited, and then when somebody's like, "Well, how come you weren't at the thing?" And it's like, "Well, you did. We are
You
very
didn't ask
vocal
me
about how this
to.
works. Yeah, we would have
Yeah.
loved to have been there, but they asked us to go to this other thing 3
Yeah.
weeks ago, and
I think honestly we fall into that too.
Okay.
I don't go to things. I don't solicit it. It's like if somebody asks me to come in and join them, then I will. We're just all so busy that it's like I can't constantly be at all of these events.
That's
so
it, too.
if they want me to be involved in both of these events in the next couple weeks they've asked, then I'll go. I'll
Yeah.
definitely be there and be a presence.
that's
but
awesome.
otherwise,
It seems like
you
you're
know.
comfortable about it though, because I still am in the place where like I'll feel bad about this one, or I'll want to do that, but we
Yeah.
can't because we're doing that. And it's still in that.
my whole career, I've been a big proponent of work-life balance and how you have to find that in order to be your best self. And if you push yourself to be at everything all the time, you're never going to be at your best capacity. So
No rest.
I allow for it to be okay.
Keep spreading that message.
How, without getting into it too heavily, how are you health-wise? You look fantastic. You seem fantastic.
Thank you.
But like
we put on a good mask.
her shit's invisible. Yeah.
Yep,
So
same thing.
what is it that you suffer from?
I have Lyme disease.
Oh, God,
so I was diagnosed about 3.5, 4 years ago now, but I've had it for over 10. Constant battle of not knowing what was wrong. And,
Energy?
It's head to toe. It sucks
Yeah.
the life out of you in every way. Chronic
Do you have
pain.
flare-ups? Is it worse sometimes, like Mrs. Ryan?
Yeah, we were
Okay.
just talking about this, the barometric pressure thing and
Yeah.
the
That's
weather,
a big
and
one.
it all affects you. And there are days where I'm just down for the count and can't function. And
Physical, mental, both?
All
You get
of
the
it.
fog and all that stuff?
Yep,
Yeah,
brain
same.
fog.
It's all
it's
so
actually
similar.
very similar. Part of why I connected is because Lyme is considered the great mimicker, and one of the things that it mimics is MS.
Yeah.
So we have very similar symptoms.
They're both awful to diagnose because
yes.
they're both, you almost have to weed everything else. Ironically,
You
weed.
do.
Process of
Weed everything else
elimination
out.
disease is what I call it, because
Yeah.
like it's literally what they go to when it used to be lupus.
Yeah.
No one has lupus.
Sarcoidosis.
And it's like,
Yeah,
it's just
sarcoidosis,
what people
exactly.
tell you have when they
Yep.
can't figure out anything else, because they're like, you have all these things that all go together, and it's very similar to
Yeah.
Lyme disease. There's a lot of crossover that people misdiagnose all the time.
Constantly. I mean, I was told I had my favorite was just chronic pain disorder. It's like, what does
Yeah.
that even mean?
What does that mean?
Wow.
What is that? Then I was thrown into the fibromyalgia bucket.
Oh,
so
yeah,
it was
I
like,
got thrown into
great,
that.
that
I got
was
thrown
you.
into that for a minute. Yeah.
I was like, woohoo,
And I was like,
good
if it's
job.
that, I can fix it.
Yeah, exactly.
If that's what it
Exactly.
is, I can fix it.
Like, that's a switch right there.
Yeah.
And then I got told a lot of it was psychological, and that was really frustrating. 'cause
Yeah, that'll do
you
it.
know,
Yeah.
I'm like, really? Nobody wants to live like this.
That's the worst,
That
yeah.
was hard. And then I finally got a doctor who was like, if it looks like a duck and it talks like a duck, it might be a duck. And he was from the East Coast, and so he was like, let's just...
That's the first thing they check
Let's just-
eventually.
exactly.
After the
But
80s,
they
when nobody knew
don't
what
out
it was, then the
here.
first thing they're like, you in some tall grass?
Yeah.
It's a deer tick and you got the Lyme disease.
Well,
Yeah.
and nobody had asked me if I'd been traveling. And I'd been in Missouri, literally in the back roads of like, and I was down in, I've got pictures of me down in the middle of like this canyon ravine thing,
That's
know.
it.
And then I'd also been up in the sequoias camping.
That's it too.
So I was like,
Yeah.
pick
How
or
didn't you
choose,
get Lyme? I mean, of course.
Right?
Of
Pick
course.
or choose.
It's
Either
everywhere.
one of those would have been totally appropriate places, but nobody ever asked me.
Mm.
Nobody said like, were you traveling? Did you do anything?
Yeah.
So it never put the pieces together until finally 7.5 years in, this guy was like, hey.
I don't want to open this can of worms too much because we are really late at this point, but you did just say something that is exactly what we feel. Do you feel that there... Oh God, it's too big. It's too big. It's too big. But we felt that there was a bit of a runaround when it came to the whole medicinal, medical,
yeah.
how it all worked. And then we found that the weakest link was generally the doctor at every place we went to.
Always.
That was the weakest link in all of the things because I was the common denominator. So I had been studying everything.
Yep.
And then you go to all these
Yep.
individual little specialists who don't know shit. They do about their thing, but not about you.
No, and they don't take the time to know you.
Right.
You're just another, cog in the wheel at that
It's
point.
a percentage point.
I found that the best that I could get was going to a PA or a nurse, somebody who was,
Mm-hmm. Somebody with compassion.
a little bit more time,
Pays
a little bit more
attention
energy.
and takes that time. That's their job.
but
Yep.
someone with a bedside manner.
Yeah.
None of the doctors had it.
No.
None of the specialists had it.
No, I was just, I would say equivalently, I probably spent a total of a couple of hours with doctors over the last 10 years, whereas I've had more time with the bedside
Yeah.
manner people,
Yeah.
know. And the communities. I mean, I'm on groups and things like that, and that's where I get all my knowledge.
It's very interesting. We ended up practically abandoning it completely.
I don't do traditional medicine really.
Neither do
anymore.
we. We ended up going into every other path.
Yep.
From holistic to, Swahili
Oh, yeah.
stuff, just,
Oh,
mystical
yeah.
beliefs.
I believe in so many things now that I didn't
Isn't that
before.
wild?
Just because you have to start opening your mind up to,
Once
just
you see
like-
the old models
like
broken, you're like,
lunar-
what?
Yeah, lunar poles and, like if the stars align and stuff like that, I can tell. I'm like, oh yeah, full moon, got it, thanks.
Yeah.
You really start to realize how interconnected we are physically to everything else, but...
Did you ever
a lot
see that
of
movie
people think it's
Phenomenon
weird.
with
Yes.
John Travolta way back when? I'm
Yeah.
telling you, I'm convinced. I'm like, one day there's going to be a brain tumor and I'm going to be dead because I feel like I'm connected to all. I feel like I could predict an earthquake and
Oh,
not
yeah.
literally, not really,
No,
but I
but
mean,
we-
you feel connected to weird
You
things.
do. You start, but it's also, I think, becoming more in tune with your body. You have to. when you're not healthy, you have to start learning to listen to your body.
Yeah, that's the most important
nobody
thing.
else is going to do it for you.
Exactly.
So you just learn. Yeah.
Good for you. You've
Good
got
for
such a
you.
good head on your shoulders. I'm so impressed.
Thank you. Thank you so much. It's been really
I'm glad you're
really
sharing
fun.
it because I didn't know any of this stuff. So I'm really glad that you're making an outlet to share that information because it sounds so simple. Pay attention, know what your body does. But like you don't know that as a person sometimes. And like doctors don't know you either. So yeah, I'm glad that you're putting that out
Yeah,
there.
they don't, and then they tend to sort of lump you into a bucket, and you have to be your advocate. You know, if you don't advocate for yourself and for what you believe is true or right, nobody else will.
Yeah.
So.
Goodness gracious.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
That was a great way to leave it. Now I'll ask again. How do you feel?
I'll talk to you forever another time.
I know. We'll just have a whole other show on health. Exactly.
We could, well, please come back anytime you
Of
want. That's the
course,
other thing.
I'm
Now
here,
especially now that you're going to launch your show and the whole bit. I mean, we're going to be like sister friends.
Yeah.
That's a term, but I didn't mean it that way. But
But it's true.
Yeah.
It's true. I know. I'm so excited.
let's see, Mrs. Ryan. We got your social media. We did the appearances and everything else. Tomorrow, Mrs. Ryan, what's happening? Oh, tomorrow's Friday. Tomorrow's Friday. So Breakfast Club for us. And and tomorrow is Friday the 13th. So we'll take care of that right now. I'm not going to really take care of that.
Full moon tomorrow.
Can you imagine wearing that after
I
Breakfast
can
Club?
tell. It's coming.
Let's see. So we've got that tomorrow. And then Saturday, Mrs. Ryan, we've got Pelican Parts in the morning, so 7 to 9. And then we've got the Rare Shades 2 or 3, I don't know what, but Rare Shades, which is the 000 and the 914 event over at the A&D Museum. That's in the
I'm gonna
afternoon.
Try to go to that.
Oh, good.
I'm
yeah.
trying. We'll see.
Good. Well, I hope to see you
We'll
there.
see.
Well, it's in the afternoon. It should be easier, right?
Yeah.
Is that a Saturday that you are
I'm-
working or not working?
It's not supposed to.
Got it.
But I'm filming B-roll on Saturday.
Oh, you're already. Oh, God. The whole system's crumbling. She seemed so put together 5 minutes ago. Let's see. And then Sunday we've got, we've not got the Porsche Club of Los Angeles, whatever
You
that
don't,
is.
but I'll go to that one for you.
Well, we may try to. Here's the thing. I said I don't want to think there's bad blood, but I said to Stan, I said, we would love to. We didn't register, but we'll stop by to show support. And then I said, let me go click to the thing, and I'm looking at the whole thing because, of course, we want to if we can. And then I saw it was like, but there's whatever it is, you'd have to park off site and walk in, and we literally can't do that. We literally can't do that. You know what I mean?
Well, you let me know because I can probably get you in that one. So, no, really.
If you're
just
serious,
let me
I
know.
will have her text you,
Yes,
and because we
absolutely.
would love to show our support.
Yeah.
We were members of that club.
No, we
and-
gotta. I mean, that's no reason to not be there. We just need to help each other out with that one. So we'll make that happen.
Well, then maybe we'll see you there. But otherwise, there's lots of stuff going on this weekend, and we've got something going on that evening with Ray Schaefer and
Pete Stout.
Pete Stout, and I don't know what that is though, but you have the details. There's something else going on Sunday evening. You probably see you there too, I guess.
Not Sunday evening. I think I'll be in bed by Sunday
right.
evening.
All right, I think that's it, right?
Yeah.
This has been the longest goodbyes ever. Mrs. Ryan, I love.
Calendar?
Oh well, the Dave Watch. Well, there's nothing new, right?
No, just another.
You're right. She's right. We have to do it. You're exactly right, Mrs. Ryan. Thank you for catching me, Loreena. I'm sorry.
It's okay.
Yeah, but you got to get back to work.
This has been fantastic reprieve for me.
All right. This X denotes that David Letterman is not sitting here today, and that this pretty lady is instead. Tomorrow's Friday the 13th. Has nothing to do with Dave Watch, but come to Breakfast Club and see if I wear that mask. That'll be an interesting ride up. Sir, do you know why I pulled you over?
Oh my.
I can't even imagine. All right, Mrs. Ryan, I love you so very much. Loreena, we love you so very much.
Thank you for
very
having
much
me.
for
It's
being
really
here.
been an honor. Thank you.
Everybody at home, we love you so very much. Thank you very much for watching. Have a great weekend. Hopefully to see you at some of the events. Otherwise, see you next week. Oh, gosh, shit. See you next week with a special episode on Monday. We have a Monday special, 9/16. Pete Stout and Ray Schaefer will be here in these two chairs to discuss the 914, the Rare Shades, and all the other weekend Porsche activity. There we go. All right. Love everybody. Have a great weekend. Bye-bye.
I am fine. Don't worry about it at all. I have an assistant.